COVID-19 is once again in the news, and that poses dangers for President Biden if the situation continues to worsen. It's in the news for several reasons. For a start, we have seen an increase in cases in China. There has been real problems in a couple of districts in China. Shanghai has closed its school district. In addition, in the UK and in Europe, we've also seen cases rise, possibly linked to the lifting of social distancing restrictions. The UK example, I think, is maybe particularly important because what has happened in Britain has tended to be replicated in the United States a little bit later. In addition to that, it is a live political issue here because a massive government spending or funding bill was recently passed. And in order to get it passed, Democrats had to bow to Republican requests to strip additional COVID funding out of that measure. Now, this is itself a controversial issue. Republicans say that the Biden administration was not able to properly account for how previous tranches of money had been spent. But the White House is arguing that the absence of this money so far is causing or will cause real problems.
We are still pressing. The place where it is concerning is the fact that we need additional COVID funding. There could be immediate impacts on testing capacity, the uninsured fund, which offers coverage of testing and treatments for tens of millions of Americans who lack health insurance, and on our supply of monoclonal antibodies. And that means that some programs, if we don't get funding, could abruptly end or need to be pared back. And that could impact how we are able to respond to any variant.
Yet another component to all of this is the degree to which Americans are understandably weary more than 2 years into the pandemic. We have all hoped several times before that we could finally put COVID behind us. That goal has been postponed, firstly by the Delta variant, more recently by the Omicron variant. On top of all of this, there's the question of whether COVID has kind of slipped off the radar screen more than it should. Clearly, the news from Ukraine has been a massive, massive story. In a sense, that has taken up all the space in the room when it comes to news. But it is raising concerns, particularly among some public health experts, that we're just not paying close enough attention to those places overseas where COVID cases are ticking up. Of course, the fear is that there could be some resurgence here. The political ramifications of this are difficult to really predict precisely, but it certainly would not be good for the Biden administration if we were to see cases tick up again. The administration has been under pressure now for some time from people who have urged easing of restrictions. The CDC only moved in that direction fairly recently. And there are all the broader implications of COVID in terms of the economy, in terms of inflationary pressures, in terms of the supply chain. There is a genuine worry about COVID ticking back up. And if that happens, there will be genuine political worries from the standpoint of President Biden.